Thanks for calling Profit Rhino. This is Joe. Hey, John, how are you this afternoon?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well, thanks. Right on time. Appreciate that.
Yeah, I was a little nervous I wasn't going to get it figured out here, but looks like it's working.
Yeah, nope. Awesome. Just gonna be the two of us today.
Yep.
Perfect. And I assume you can see my screen, the agenda on one side, Profit Rhino on the other.
Correct.
Awesome. Let's just jump right in and get it done and get you back to your day here. What we're looking at now, just a little roadmap, what we like to hit as we walk through these. First, before we jump in too far, pain points, I'm going to have you tell me a little bit about your business, what you guys are doing as far as a process, where you're looking to go. Are you with a Service Titan Field Edge, a system like that? Just so we can focus on what's going to be important so we don't spend a ton of time on stuff that's not really important to you. Introduction, say hello, we've already done. Demonstration, I will pull the iPad right up on the screen. We'll look at everything as your tech and as your customer will see it in the field, do questions the entire time. And then, of course, conclusion, we'll talk success program, price, and then I will get you onto your day here. So if you don't mind, Justin, give me a quick just rundown again of what you guys are doing now as far as a business process and where you're looking to go and what has led you guys towards Profit Rhino.
Yep. So business-wise, I'm kind of in charge of the residential program with Zeller Electric. Now we have a lot of commercial guys, and the residential is just kind of something they're starting to get into or wanting to ramp up. So what we're doing now is a lot of service calls, small jobs, small quoted jobs, stuff where we'll go out to a customer's house and look at what he's got going and then give him a price. And we're trying to get a flat rate going so that we don't have to come back. And, right now we come back with, after we go out to a job, I'll give the information to our estimator and he'll go and estimate it all, send it out. And, it takes time. He's always behind. So we're trying to get to where we can give the customer a price right there or fairly quickly. And then also they're wanting to be able to invoice immediately, have the customer pay, maybe a credit card or something like that.
Awesome. Cool. Well, I can show you solutions to all those things today as we go through. I'm assuming you guys are doing like a time and material bill out now?
Correct. Yeah.
Yep. Okay, perfect. And just curiosity, how many guys are you running on your residential side?
Right now with the residential, there's 2 of us doing like service calls and stuff. And we're hoping to increase that to about 4
Nice.
this year or within a few months here.
Cool. All right. So let's jump in here. As we go through, I'm going to bring the tablet up, kind of walk through some stuff, just kind of focus on some of the, the issues that you guys are looking for today. At any time, if you have any questions, jump right in and stop me. Interruptions don't hurt my feelings. Best time to answer that stuff is right when we're looking at it. So definitely feel free to jump right in. That being said, I'm just going to pull my tablet up here. She's just giving me a bit of a hard time at the moment. There we go. Perfect. And I'll jump in our app. Our app's a little smiling rhino down here with the tablet in his hand.
Okay. Yep.
Home screen, not a ton for us here. Obviously, we will brand it with your logo. The blue color scheme can be changed as well to match your marketing, your branding, whatever you guys have going on. And
Yep.
then the other thing really to note on the home screen is your hotkeys. This is going to take us directly to the price book, the work order builder, where we're going to obviously build your work orders. We can also jump back and recall open work orders as well. Option builder, as far as pricing, we're big on giving the customer choices, kind of
Yep.
good, better, best options. So this is where we can have these actually pre-built, so your guys can just hit a button. Options are already done, or they can also custom build them per job. In electrical, a lot of times you got to custom build them just because rarely are two jobs the same in your
Yeah.
as opposed to plumbing, HVAC, where things can be a little more cookie cutter. And then
Yeah.
customers, pretty self-explanatory. This is where your customer database will be found. You can search by name, by address, by phone number, pull up your customer so we can link the work orders. Again, recall old work orders. You'll notice the images coincide up here. They'll follow us everywhere we go, so we can quickly jump to this stuff if we need to. The only other thing is the red dot, and that is simply where I'm touching and simply meant to help you follow along a little bit.
Okay.
So this is the home screen of Profit Rhino. As you may or may not know, images are a huge thing here. You'll find over 4,000 custom images throughout the book, in about 10,000 different places. Other thing you notice here is we do have lots of different trades going on. If you do make a purchase, you guys will get all the trades. If somewhere down the road you start getting in any of these other trades, we have books available. In the meantime, we can turn off what you guys want and don't want, just so as clean as easy we can make it for these guys. They don't get
Yep.
wrong things, just a better experience for everybody.
Sure.
And then the way we have the book set up is we're really just trying to ask a few quick questions inside each book to try and get you to the task you need to get as soon as possible. So if I go inside your electrical book today here, first kind of thing is what am I going to do when I'm walking into this home? We have your connections, your breakers, your fans, your circuits. And then here's your conversion stuff down here. So really just giving us a bit of a breakdown where we want to go in here. I usually go into ceiling fans. That's something that's kind of common throughout the country here. And
Yep.
then, next question, what are we doing here? Are we doing a ventilator, or excuse me, an attic fan, a ventilator, ceiling fan, control boxes? Again, top of the funnel, get to the bottom, as quickly as possible here. Jump
Yep.
in ceiling fans. This is kind of where your images start to take over. Also, something as we go through here, keep in mind, this book is on a generic model now. When you guys go with us, we do what we call a success program, where we'll go through and get the correct brand specific images for you guys. Make sure we get the parts, the pricing, that stuff correct. So
Yep.
I always like to put a little asterisk there before we go through and you guys see the prices and things. Keep that in mind. So
Yeah.
but this is where we're going to come. First thing you notice, customer supplied light kit. I'm sure something you guys get all the time. Lady fell in love with this fixture at
Yeah.
Lowe's and can't get it in. So,
Yeah.
we'll have line items for that stuff, as well as we'll put this in and as well we can get it branded. So if you guys sell Hunter fans, we can have Hunter in here, etc. Another thing we didn't talk about, and it's not super common in the electrical industry, but planned maintenance programs, discount programs, loyalty programs. Are you guys doing anything along those lines? Are you planning to do anything along those lines?
No, we don't do anything like that now, and I really don't see us getting into that.
It's tough in the electrical industry. There's not a
Yeah.
lot of
It's
recurring work,
It's
maintenance
not
work
like
kind of
something with
stuff.
HVAC where you could go back every year and look at their furnace
Exactly.
or whatever.
Exactly. So this can be turned off. We can also, find something else creative to do with it for you guys. If
Mhm.
you want to give them 3 levels of pricing, sign off today, you get this rate, or you get this rate if you call back tomorrow, kind of thing. So if you want to be creative, otherwise we just turn it off for you guys.
Okay.
Jump inside of any of these, and really, first thing you're going to notice, obviously, is an image. Diagrams we'll have in every job for you guys here. We'll get, again, the correct fan images for you guys, but just really nice to explain to the customer. Obviously, if your guy needs us to put in a fan, you got bigger problems on your hand than a price book today. But when, obviously, customer wants to know why does this cost $200, just kind of explain
Yeah.
what's going on. So
Yep.
cool stuff. First line here is what we call a tech description. Really just made so your tech pulls the correct part. Obviously, we need a brief description there. Second line is meant for your tech to tell them a little bit more about the job. This is telling them that there's a existing box assembly required. If they need to have certain parts, or if we've included something in already, it'll let them know so they don't try to upsell them or double
Yeah.
sell something. And then down below, we're going to have what we call customer description, and truly that what it is, what it does, what it looks like, things the customer are going to care about, not us, not the tech. The pricing we talked about, again, we'll turn this on and off at your discretion. And
Hmm.
then probably the biggest thing on the page here is this MPT 103. What this is telling me is that we've allotted 103 minutes to do this job. And I'm not sure how familiar you are with flat rate, but every job has a time assigned to it. We have an hourly rate in the back. We have a standard chart where we're marking up all your parts, and we're truly still doing a time material in the back. We're just taking that number, 631, and pushing it out here as a flat rate to the customer. Um,
Okay.
this is kind of where you can adjust this task up or down to make it cheaper or more expensive without changing everything else in your electrical book here. Um,
Okay.
Also, something else to note is we do build extra time in each one of these tasks for sales, setup, service, that kind of stuff. So 103 minutes should be the time that you're at the home, not the time you're actually turning a wrench, just
Yeah.
so you're kind of aware where those minutes are coming from. Um,
Okay.
Always like to use this as just kind of a quick pause, see if there's any questions, comments on any kind of the setup so far.
Not so far. Yeah, I like that. The time, the MPT number, that could be very handy.
Sure.
But yeah, we're not really familiar with the flat rate stuff. We've for 3 years we've been doing residential. We just kind of been going along, and as people call in, we just it's time and material, and that's how it goes.
Perfect.
So kind of
And
all
really,
new to us.
yeah, and really things when we jump in the web, you're going to see it better, and see, it's really not going to be anything new. You're just
Hmm.
taking your hourly rate and your parts markup. Normally, you'd write that on the sheet with your line items, and it'd come to 631.50. We're just doing it in the back, pushing it to the customer, and say, "Here's your price,"
Yeah.
today. So, really easy. Next thing I want to show you is this view recommended button. If I hit this button, you're going to see recommended services pop up.
Hmm.
Always like to call this the Amazon selling method. People who bought this also bought this, and this.
Yep.
Also, we want to remind your guys to sell this stuff out in the field. Especially the more trucks you add, the harder to keep track of. And let's be honest, the harder it is to get good techs who are going to sell. There's just not an unlimited supply of them out there.
Yeah.
So you guys can control this. You'll find the common sense stuff done. But the only way they cannot sell this is to exit out and truly just choose not to do it. So there's
Hmm.
truly no excuse for them to come through and do this. The other
Yeah.
thing we've built here to sell is we talked about putting in the extra time in this 103 for your setup, your service. We've already charged it once. We don't need to charge it a second time, right? So we
Yep.
can kind of use that to our advantage here. If you'll notice the stock numbers and the prices here, when I hit the toggle up here,
Hmm.
this is going to change them from what we call a task, the original price, to an add-on. This is reduce that extra time.
I
But
see. Okay.
Mrs. Jones, I really recommend we put a new support box. We put a new, controller in. If I have to come back next month and do it, you're looking at 261 or 277. Since everything's open, if I do it today, it's only 131, 147.
Yeah.
The customer seeing that money comes off is an amazing sales tool for you guys, and
Hmm.
really help just push the extra products. You sell one extra thing every 5 jobs. That's going to raise your average ticket price $20 a stop. At the end of the year, that makes a big difference.
Hmm. Yep.
Next one I want to show you, I'm going to jump in here and see if I think I got one in here. We just kind of redid our book, so I just want to make sure I have it. Yeah, perfect. Common alternatives. Whenever we have different levels of products, we always want to show the customer what they have for choices. A, people like choices, and B, 90% of those times, that's going to be more expensive, more profitable choices. So all we do is put them right here at the bottom. All
Hmm.
your tech has to do, Mrs. Jones, we also have these options available. It's literally 1/16 of a page. They scroll up, and then they touch it. They can jump in, they can go live, and you'll notice we never show them stuff they can go down to. Always trying to push them up. You'll find your diagrams.
Hmm.
Again, you'll find the common sense stuff put in. Of course, you guys have the ability to come in here and really customize this. But again, the easier we can make it for these guys in the field to sell this extra stuff, the better chance it'll actually get done, and then they'll
Hmm.
actually sell some stuff, and you guys will actually make some more money. So,
Hmm.
really cool there. I'd like to do a quick pause, see if there's any questions. If not, I'd like to kind of walk it right through a tech scenario from the time we walk in to the time we leave, and just show you how that flow is going to work for you guys.
Yeah. Yep. No questions so far.
Awesome, awesome. And if you do, please stop me. So I'm going to jump right here to the clipboard. This is what we call the work order screen. First thing it's going to do is give us the option, are we creating a new work order, a new customer, or are we going back to finish a job? Real quick, we'll hit search work order. I'm a football fan. I always go to Eli's house, but all you have to do is come here. You can see all your work orders. You can search them by name, and then just touch one, and it's going to jump you right into this old work order. This was a HVAC customer I dealt with. But again, super easy for you guys to do that. And then also, if we come out here, first day of the job, create a new work order. We can search, again, just by name, by address, by one word in the address, by phone. So really cool there. We can hit the button right here and go straight to the work order, or if we want to hit the view edit, this will give us a history of all the times we've gone to this customer's home. Disclaimer, this history will only start when you guys start with Profit Rhino. We can't bring it back in from QuickBooks or anything. So just kind of keep that in mind going forward. You guys are kind of in your infancy, so it's not going to be a big a deal as it is to some of the other customers. Something else that's really neat is if there's additional addresses. If you have somebody who owns multiple properties, you can come here. When you create the work order, it's going to prompt you, remind the tech which address we're going to make sure we get that correct, which is pretty cool for you guys as well. Next, I assume you guys do some sort of dispatch fee, trip charge, show up fee, whatever you guys call it.
Yeah. Right now it's just an hourly rate. So if we go out there, we'll just tell somebody, we're $95 an hour. We'll come out and look at it. And, as long as we're there is what you get charged for.
Okay.
So we don't really tell them that, hey, we'll come out and for $50, we'll diagnose the problem. And then we'll give you, the cost of what it was going to take to fix. It's just a flat, $95 an hour. And that's how we do it.
Perfect. So no problem. You'll see the diagnosis signature here. We have this set up, and again, the other trades kind of do it differently than electricians do it. We have a diagnosis fee. If you guys ever get into it, you can do as many or as few levels as you want. Some people will do $99 for the first hour, whatever comes after it. This can also be turned off, this whole signature box, so it never shows up if you guys don't want to do it. Something that you might want to consider, though. Oops, I actually got to put a diagnosis fee on there. Putting all these safeguards in here. The old way used to run wild in here.
Yeah.
All these disclaimers here are customizable. Might be a thought we can change diagnosis signature to something else, but you can also give them a sign just to understand that they're being billed $95 an hour, etc.
Yeah.
Again, it's up to you guys if you want to do that. It can be turned on and off. So
just
be aware that that's there.
Yeah, I think they would like to get to that where it's more of a a box. You got your diagnosis fee, and then you say, okay, this is what it's going to cost to fix, and do it more that way rather than the old way where it's just hourly.
Sure.
So then you save yourself some hassle with the customer. If they say, oh, you're here an hour and 15 minutes, and we're getting billed for an hour and a half.
Exactly. So another thing, just to kind of throw it out there, I hear a lot of people in a lot of different solutions here. What a lot of people will tell them is put this diagnosis fee on here. If they do the work, you take it off. We'll make a separate line item with a minus $59.95, and you just bill that into your bill out rate. So you're getting the money, whether you're here or not. The customer feels like they didn't have to take the money off, but also at the same time, they're like, well, it's going to cost me $60 to tell them I'm going to call somebody else. That guy's only $50 cheaper. I didn't make any money. So it kind of encourages them to sign off as well when they think they're going to get that discount. In reality, we've already built it into the hourly. So just kind of throwing it out there. Tons of solutions, tons of workarounds to get around that. Cool stuff. Next thing after we do this, I'm going to leave this up just because you guys said you're kind of working it that way. We'll kind of let you guys see what the flow will be with that.
Mm-hmm.
Next thing you do, we're going to diagnose a problem. Let's just say it's a ceiling fan since we looked at one. Now we have two options. We can go back into the book and go to electrical fans, ceiling fans, how we went in, or we can just give them options. And we can do that by going to the 1, 2, 3. Now we can actually create this from scratch right now, going through the book. For time's sake and for easy stuff, we'll have these pre-built for you guys. So you can go in here, ceiling fan circuit, open it, and I have pre-built options I can show the customer. Just that quick. Good being just a fan. Better has the light boxes and a speed control, and then this one has a nicer speed control. We have the circuit extender, all the good stuff. Before we show this to the customer, we want to jump in here, and this little guy, we'll do a summary of findings. If this is something you guys do, we can put in our findings, our recommendations here. Obviously, you can type. If your tablets have voice to text, you can dictate this as well, kind of speed up the process for the customer. Obviously, the number one rule is always read it before you show it to the customer. And
Mm-hmm.
now next is going to be one of the things you brought up. If we come right here to this eyeball, this is going to change us now to a branded PDF quote for the customer. You're going to find your logo, your address here, summary of findings. First page is what we call the summary. Just going to be a very brief summary of what's in there. We're going to hit them with any service agreement discounts if you guys are doing that. Bundle discounts, we'll talk about payments in a minute, but all these things we try and say here get them to climb the ladder up into these higher options. As you can see, it can be emailed or printed directly from the tablet. The second page of the quote is actually going to include the picture and full description of each item included. Again, printed, emailed to the customer. Also, of course, this is a cloud-based system. So if your tablets are connected in the field, this is going to happen in real time. You can have a tech show this to the customer in their home. You can sit there at your desk and see this, again, in real time while your tech is still at the home of the customer. So
Mm-hmm.
really neat there. And again, just a really nice, clean invoice. And again, obviously, we can change the colors, whatever, to fit your branding.
Okay.
So afterwards, they're going to take an option. Eli's got the money for the time being. We'll add this one to the work order. Jump back by, let me open this up so you can see it better. Jumping back to the clipboard. Now we can go ahead and, again, if you guys are doing service agreements, this just touches. If you're not doing that, we'll turn it off again so they only see one rate. We don't want to confuse the customer. Also, just a quick heads up. This little guy here is what we call a hotkey. If you do service agreements, this is where you can go ahead and pull those out. Any warranties that you guys do here. Also, Labor Adder is a really cool one. Jump in there and take a quick look. This has limited access. Here's where you can have discounts. We also have a section here. I'm not sure why it's not popping up there, but it has all of your like customer supply tasks. If you have to dig a trench, if you have to haul away scrap metal, if you have to get a permit from the town, like we
Mm-hmm.
have line items pre-built for all that stuff. We'll get set up for you guys as well.
Okay.
Down here at the bottom, this is where we're going to do the money. We can do an individual tax rate per job. Just kind of depends on your area. If the tax rates vary a lot, if they're the same, we can set it in the back so you guys don't have to worry about it. Tax exempt. And then we can do any kind of discount here by dollars or by percentages. Senior discounts, military discounts probably are most popular. And then here is finance. And this is something that we didn't talk about. But have you guys got involved in your residential at all on any of the third-party financing on larger jobs?
No, we haven't.
Okay. Perfect. So what it is, I'm sure you're aware of, there's lots of companies out there that'll do a third-party financing. Basically, they'll finance the customer for you. They send you the money. The customer makes the payments to these companies. Obviously, there's some fees, things involved there. If you guys don't do that at all, we can turn it off. You'll never see it. If it's something you guys want to do, what it is when you sign up, they'll give you a landing page where they can go and apply for financing through Zeller Electric. We'll take it one step further, take that landing page, put it behind the button. So all you have to do is touch this. If your tablet's connected, it's going to go right to your financer. This now allows the customer to apply for the financing, be approved for the financing, sign off for the job, all while your tech stands right in the living room on their iPad, and go ahead and, again, sign those jobs, which we've got some really good feedback, mainly in the HVAC industry. People can
Mm-hmm.
almost impulse buy, some of these nicer purchases, tankless
Yeah.
hot water heaters, mini splits, that kind of thing. So
Yeah.
again, if it's something you guys want to get into, feel free to jump in. Also, we can set this so it'll only show up if a job goes over $3,000. Only show up on installation of new panels or things like that. So you can
Mm-hmm.
control where it comes if you're interested. Next, we're going to get an approval signature. This is that they approve us to start the work. Once the work's done, fans in, everybody's happy. We're going to get a signature that they accept us, and everything is done. And now it's time to do what I call the most important thing of the entire stop every single time, get the money, right?
Yep.
So this is where we come in and take the payments. Obviously, cash, we can apply a full or a partial balance. Same with a check. We are including a check number, and then credit card. We actually are integrated in the system with a sister company of ours called PaySimple. We're both owned by the same company here. So as you can see, it'll seamlessly jump into their app. They'll send you a swiper. You swipe the card. It'll take the payment, post it to Profit Rhino, seamlessly jump you right back inside of Profit Rhino. You never have to switch apps. Really cool. And again, we'll see how we can get all this stuff to your QuickBooks and things at the end of the day as well.
Mm-hmm.
So we can have PaySimple reach out, talk to you guys about rates, things like that. We have about a 60% conversion rate, so their rates seem to be pretty legitimate.
Mm-hmm.
Last thing we want to do, always best practice, hit the save button before you leave the payment screen. I'm going to prompt you to email this final invoice to the customer from right here. I'm going to actually skip that since I do this a lot. And then finally, if you do want to present the invoice on the tablet at the end of the day, about 50-50 whether companies do it or not. But we can come right here to this eyeball where we saw the quote. First page we recognize, second page we recognize, third page is now the branded PDF invoice. Again,
Mm-hmm.
your information, your logo, service address, billing address in case they're different, date, CAC, images, descriptions. We're going to highlight any discounts, payments, signatures, addendums, acknowledgments. Of course, everything is customizable. Something I like to point out is this your logo here. This is just a PDF. So you guys can put this in here. You can advertise, specials you have coming up. You can advertise your commercial business. I actually have a customer who sold this to a local pizzeria. He made a few $100 extra. Everybody gets a pizza coupon on their invoice. So you can be really creative with that, but just kind of gives you some flexibility. And I like the ability to kind of advertise your services on there, which is nice.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really what we have top to bottom. I'd like to stop for any questions, comments, concerns.
Nothing. No, nothing so far.
Perfect. One more thing I want to hit with you before we hit the web portal is what we call the grid matrix. Especially in electrical, no matter how much stuff we put in here, you're always going to go run into something someday that you guys don't have a task built for. It's just going to happen, again, especially in electrical.
Mm-hmm.
But we try to overcome that with what we call the grid matrix here. And basically, if you remember, we talked about the minutes per task and then the parts markup. This is going to take us right here. And as long as we know how long this job is going to take, this job is going to take me 180 minutes. It's going to take me 3 hours to complete this job. And how much are the parts going to cost you guys at your level? It's going to cost me $220 for the parts. This is going to make a task based on whatever numbers you have plugged in the back on 3 hours worth of labor, $180 worth of parts. All we have to do is add this guy to the work.